I started smoking pot at 17. And I thought, this stuff should be legal, and it will be legal any day now. But it never got legal. And for that, I have suffered so much. I have been shot by the police. I have been jailed for 2 years. I have watched my Bill of Rights shredded. I have watched my friends destroyed. I've watched the police grow in power. And I've seen these budgets and more money for prisons than for schools. The most gentle, loving, thinking people are being subjugated to prison, destruction of property, robbing of their children, robbing of their homes, to be maligned and ostracized in our society. What is it about marijuana they hate? Marijuana makes you think. They don't like thinking people. They want the people to sleep, get on booze, fall asleep. Let our government do what it wants, wage its war, wage its Pax America. Marijuana makes you think, well, maybe it's not a good idea to bomb people. Maybe it's not a good idea to wage war. It's a safe drug, and it's a safer drug known to man, safer than aspirin. But we're trying to push this further along to have the government finally reschedule marijuana so it can be available in Walgreens and drugstores. And so prohibition has made it so expensive that we are denying sick and dying people medicine that's saving their lives. So that has got to go right away. And maybe this dispensary idea, maybe it could do it. Maybe it could be the way. And I hope it is, because I don't want to think that just people are going to get rich on the backs of sick and dying people, because that is not what I'm about. I want it free marijuana, free. In between, the interim is dispensaries, and we're fighting for that now. But in fact, the reality is we need more marijuana. We need to lower the price. We need more accessible. What is the price of marijuana? It's either the most valuable drug in the world, or it's totally no value at all. It's in the eye of the beholder. These dispensaries, these cannabis clubs that I started in San Francisco, was the founder of, just a step in the right direction. That first we have to bring along the public. We have to educate the people. And we've had 50 years of propaganda, the war on marijuana, evil drug, 50 years of paid government propaganda against us. And now we need an education campaign that is racked with truth. The politics of marijuana has got to come from the bottom and works its way up. And I started at the bottom, the people. And I changed the face of marijuana, because the face of marijuana was this long-haired hippie who was anarchist and throwing bombs and dressed bad and had bad hair. And basically I changed the face of marijuana to be who we are. We are everything. We are older people, we are younger people, we are well-dressed, we are not very fashionable. We are everything. And by changing the face of marijuana, we've changed the stereotype of marijuana. By changing that, we have got to educate people on what it is marijuana helps with. But Harvey had long hair. He was a long hair hippie just like myself. And we were conspirators to make San Francisco bigger, better world. Start right here in San Francisco. And he was cut down before his dream came through. I am still trying to carry on his dream. He was the gay guy, but he was the hippie, the gay hippie, who wanted the end of war, the end of injustice, legalization of marijuana. He wanted everything, and he wanted just everybody to be part of this social process we call America. And to this day, everything I do, I think about Harvey and what would he have done. And there's not a day in my life that I not think about Harvey Milk and what he stood for and what he was doing to America, for America, a country he loved. And that's what I'm doing it for. Country I love, a better world, more accepting and loving people. And Harvey Milk was my inspiration to this day. He's still my inspiration. He's been dead 20-something years. To this day, I still miss him. It's almost like it was yesterday. And to watch the movie Milk, it was a great movie, but you know the hero dies in the end. And for that reason, it's very sad for me to relive that, and to know that the guy got away with it. And he claimed Twinkie defense, as we will know, and instead of getting life in prison or, death penalty, he gets out in 4 years. And 4 years, because he had killed George only, it would have been life. But of course he killed the faggot, Harvey. You got 4 years because when the jury was being picked, if you were gay, you were off the jury. If you were for the death penalty, you were against the death penalty, you were off the jury. And basically, you take all the people that believe in justice off. What do you got left? You got the rednecks, the people that think, well, gays, we should roust them. They don't deserve in San Francisco. And that's the jury came back. He didn't commit murder. He committed a manslaughter, and it was just a moment of passion. And so actually they justified the death of Harvey Milk. And so the criminal justice system is complacent, and they're part of the problem. And I love America. My father is an immigrant. He's Italian. And he used to go to Dennis. This is the greatest country in the world. I said, why is that, Dad? He goes, you don't have to worry about the knocks in the middle of the night, the police coming in and taking your children away. And but that all changed with the war on drugs. I was in Vietnam at the time, but my brother gave a hit of acid to a snitch who had the cops standing outside the house. The cops raided my mother's house, my parents' house. My brother lived in the basement, but they came up to my parents' house, threw my father on the ground, my mother on the ground, and my grandfather on the ground. Where's the drugs? Where's the drugs? They asked my mother, where's the acid, bitch? My mother, she's in a moo-moo on the kitchen floor, which is not, on the floor. My mother said, Dennis, I couldn't think of anything. Acid, all I could think is battery acid. And I said, the car. And that was the wrong thing to say because that had ripped up my mother's car. And she said, I didn't even know what acid was. She goes, in a way, I hear the story and I cringe. I go, oh, I'm glad I was in Vietnam. I mean, at the same time, thought of my grandfather, spread eagle on the floor. And my father said, well, Dennis, that was true about America. They can't come in your house, they can't take your children. But now I've changed my mind. They can. They can come in your house, they can take your children, and all under this war on marijuana. We have the Bill of Rights, and that is our law of the land. And I think that's worth protecting, and I think it's worth defending. And why am I doing what I'm doing? Yes, because marijuana is a medicine, it's good for us. I love America. I love this country. I think it's a good idea, and I want to unify it. I want it to be one country, not 50 different countries, not 14 states that medical marijuana, that care about people. I want 50 states that care about people. Democracy is something you have to constantly fight for because there's always someone willing to take it away from you. And so democracy requires participation. And participate in the life, in your country, in your communities, and you will have a better country. And deficits aside, the economic crisis, as long as we have each other, we can have a better world. Because we have allowed this government to do everything for us, we have lost the sense of community. And people don't know their neighbors because they have 911. They have too much noise, they call 911. My neighbor's too much noise. Instead of walking over there, knocking on the door and saying, can you lower the music? We've given up our power. And, we allowed the state to get too big, we allowed ourselves to get too small. And we can change that around. So let's start with medical marijuana because never has it been an issue more. Put aside our differences against drugs, put aside that, and allow this to happen, to sick and tired people to use marijuana. And maybe we'll find some more meaning in that we could find ourselves and discover the real meaning of America is a loving, compassionate, gracious country. So, my father's right. It's the best country in the world, and it's worth fighting for it, and it's a good dream. Let's make it happen.